Y'all, we're making something, some kind of cake. Come on. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are tackling something a little bit different. We're going to try to fix, correct, make a low carb dessert. I think it's a cake, torte, cheesecake. Not really sure. Okay, let me explain. I was looking at some things on YouTube and this video caught my eye and looks delicious. Now, YouTube algorithm tends to feed each of us the things in our native language, right? That's just what we get because that's what we can understand and that's what the platform's gonna feed us to keep us on the platform. Well, I had gotten off onto a channel, I believe it's German, I think. The channel is called Home Cooking. Got 560,000 subscribers. I'll leave a link to it down below. And this recipe looked delicious, but I couldn't really understand any of it. There's no talking, there's no narration, beautifully filmed, gorgeous music, food looks delicious. I don't think it's AI. The recipe says no sugar, no eggs, no baking. Okay. Low carb dessert. Okay. No butter or cream. Okay, if you start looking at it, they're using butter and cream, multiple types of cream. So I was just confused, but I was intrigued enough to keep working my way through it. Now, if you watch this video, either I'm not understanding the way it's put together, there's just some something's wrong, but it looks so good. I thought maybe you and I try to fix this, make this, figure out this German low carb torte, cake, cheesecake, dessert. So, all right, let's get started. Okay, so we know in this recipe, based on at least the video and the translated description underneath, that there's a base layer, right, of almond flour and either butter, and I think you can also substitute cream cheese based on this. So what I'm going to do is measure out the ingredients based on what I have translated from the screen, and I'll try to give you US measurements or, imperial measurements and the volume amounts as well. So we need grams. Hold on, get over here, grams now. All right, so we know we need 100, I've already written all this down, 100 grams of almond flour. So I'm gonna start with a 1 cup measure, and we're gonna tare it. And I'm just gonna see how much roughly 100 grams of almond flour is. And I'll sift it after I do all this. So just hang on 1 second, let's see what we get. Okay, so 100 grams of almond flour is about a cup. This is a cup measure. Good to know. I probably should know that already. And don't make a mess like I did, Wesley. So I'm gonna just quickly sift this out. It doesn't say to, but y'all know me. I keep mine in the freezer. So sift, y'all, because all those lumps and bumps. So again, this is no baking. We're gonna put it in, she puts it in a cool little tart pan. Well, I ain't got one of them. So I'm just gonna put it in a springform pan, about a 6-inch springform pan. I kind of wish I'd had a 7-inch springform pan. I think it would fit a little better. But I'm learning the art of just normalizing, making do with what you got. We always don't have to buy the next big thing. Sometimes it's just not that important, right? All right, there's our 100 grams / 1 cup of almond flour. And don't worry, I'm gonna put all this in the video description below and in the pinned comment. There'll be a written direction, ingredient list and directions for you there. To this, it says we need 40 grams of butter melted. So let me just get some unsalted butter. And is this marked with grams? I need reading glasses on. Show ain't. All right, so just see how much we got here. Okay, so 40 grams of butter. That's honestly, I would say 8 tablespoons in a stick, so that's 7 tablespoons roughly. So just enough left over, probably, to grease the pan with. So, all right, I'm gonna put that to the side, and I'm gonna melt this butter, and I'll be right back. Okay, had a little bit of splody in the microwave, but we're good. I think we've got most of our butter. So crisis almost averted. Oh, so this just goes into our into our bowl here. And then I've got a couple of other things to add to this that I'm just going to sort of have to get out of the way, make up on the fly. And I'm just going to tell you now, I just bought something 2 days ago, just out of an impulse buy, speaking about making do with what you got. I bought a microwave thing that goes in your microwave to stop explosions, like to put over, right, to set on top of the thing. That just saved my behind. That microwave is clean, thank goodness, and that can just go in the dishwasher, and it just goes right on top of your bowl. I think I paid $7 for it, and I would have paid $7 just to not have to clean the microwave up after that one little sploosh. So this might be 7 tablespoons minus 1 tablespoon that's on the top of that thing. So to this butter and almond flour, we need to add a little bit of sweetener. She uses a liquid sweetener. It looks like stevia probably. She also uses like a gel vanilla, which she calls a sweetener. So I believe it must have a little sweetener in it too. So I'm going to do a teaspoon of Swerve, just something confectioners. You don't really want it to be granulated because this isn't going to bake, right? Allulose would probably be fine here too. Let's see. Now let's do 2. Let's do 2 teaspoons of sweetener, and I'm going to do a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla because the vanilla is pretty strong. And this is a small recipe. It doesn't say how much it makes. Of course, she didn't even get half their instructions right either. So I'm going to put in a little 1/4 teaspoon of real vanilla, and we're going to use more of that in the filling in a moment. So let me get all this out of the way, get this mixed up, and we'll go from there. Now, before we continue, I want to take a few moments to thank the sponsor of this video, Cove Pure. Have you ever wondered what's in your tap water? Well, I found a website that lets you type in your zip code, it'll show you your municipal water supply, and it'll tell you what's in your water, whether you want to know or not. I was a little bit shocked to find out that about 70 million Americans have PFAs, those forever chemicals, in their drinking water. And in the city of San Diego, where I live, there are 33 contaminants in our tap water, and of those, 14 are above the acceptable limits. Now, I say I was shocked. I don't know why. Since I've moved here, I've always thought the water tasted a little bit funny. I mean, it's not terrible. I mean, it does come out of a nice refrigerator filter over there. But that led me to today's sponsor, Cove Pure. Cove Pure eliminates 99.9% of contaminants in your water. You've seen it for a long time right here on my countertop behind me in a lot of videos, and I have truly come to rely on it, and I love it. Their ClearWave filtration technology is third-party lab tested and certified to remove not only the usual bad odors and flavors, germs, bacteria, chlorine, but also a lot of things that other filter systems can miss, like heavy metals, microplastics, arsenic, and those PFAs that we talked about. Cove Pure sits right on the countertop, like that right there, and it works seamlessly, which means there's no plumbing, no drilling. It's perfect for renters or anybody that's just looking for a plug-and-play solution. I love that Cove Pure dispenses hot and cold water instantly at any temperature at the touch of a button. Hot like a kettle, cold like a refrigerator. It has a handy pitcher that makes it easy to use around the kitchen, whether you're just filling a pot or filling glasses at the table. And I also love that you can monitor your water quality of the raw water versus the filtered water to show how many total dissolved solids are in it. I actually did a little test to see how much chlorine is in our local tap water versus the tap water from the Cove Pure. So I got some of the chlorine detection drops. These turn your water yellow if there's any chlorine in it, and as you can see, this water here on the left, that's the tap water, is bright yellow. This shows that obviously our tap water is full of chlorine. So right now, Cove Pure has a very generous offer for you guys. You can use the QR code here on the screen, or you can visit their website at covepure.com/highfalutin, and you will get $200 off of Cove Pure. So thank you, Cove Pure, for sponsoring this video and for giving me some of the freshest, crispest water I have ever had. I have truly come to love it. All right, guys, let's get back to the video. Come on. Okay, so she uses, if you'll see, she uses a couple of things. She looks like what looks to be maybe an 8-inch springform pan for one of the variations, unless this is just 2 recipes mixed up. And then one she uses a tiny little tart pan that's about this size. I don't have a tart pan, but this is a 6-inch spring form round. I'll leave links to all this stuff, even that little splatter shield if y'all are interested in it down below. So from here, I'm going to use a little bit of this butter. Not much. She didn't butter hers, and then honestly, there's so much butter in there, the bottom don't need to be buttered. But I'm more worried about, we're going to use some gelatin in this for the filling. That's why it's no bake, right? And I'm worried that the gelatin may not pull free from here. So I'm going to put just a little bit of butter, not much, on these sides so that at least I can unspringform this and we can actually get it out and maybe taste it. And hopefully this isn't horrifying. There's a lot of positive comments on it, but nobody questioned, like, I feel like I was the dummy because nobody questioned, like, girl, why you got 2 different recipes going and you've started mixing stuff into berries that were mashed together, and then the next scene is whole berries. I'm confused by it. So while my hands are buttery, I'm going to go ahead and push this into this little pan. Again, if I'd had a 7-inch springform or a little 7-inch tart pan, probably be prettier, but at least we'll get some nice tall layers to this. So let's just flatten this out as best as we can and get it nice and smooth. Then we'll move on to our next step of the fillings. Okay, so there is our little springform pan with the crust inside. And then this I'm going to go ahead and just store in the fridge so it can be getting cold. That's going to be a buttery crust, you know what I mean? So when I taste this, if I find out that, like, wow, that would have been better with half the butter or double the sugar, the sweetener, I'll make those adjustments in the final recipe. So just be aware that my final written recipe is what would have been the perfect version of this crazy thing that we're making. All right, meet you right back here. Okay, so let's get started on the second layer. This is where my confusion really hit because there's 2 different recipes. One involves yogurt and milk powder, dry milk powder, which intrigued me until I read the carb count in milk powder. Whew, no, not low carb. So that's also like, why are you calling it low carb if it's anyway? So then she had another version, and I believe this is correct. So we're going to start with cream cheese. We need 200 grams of cream cheese. Now, a box of cream cheese in the United States comes, I believe, with 220 grams of cream cheese. So we're going to have to do a little bit of measuring here. So let me get my butter knife that I had already cut the butter off of. 101. Okay, so it's half a block of cream cheese, which, was I wrong? How much cream cheese? That says 8 ounces is 226 grams. Oh, that's 100 grams. I need 200 grams. Great time of day. This is where you start messing up, Wesley. All right, pay attention, wake up. I'm just getting back in the kitchen, y'all, after an extended absence, as you probably know if you've been watching. So this is why I thought this might be something fun to do together. I'm not an expert on anything except making a mess in the kitchen. 200 grams, look at that. So it is just shy, again, just enough to make you have to figure out something to do with that little tiny bit of cream cheese right there. So I'm just going to put that, get out of the way. And I'm going to put this in the microwave just for a second. I'm not going to explode in this one, just for a moment, just to soften it up a bit. You don't want to melt this. I just want it soft. Be right back. Okay, so we've got our softened cream cheese. To this, she calls for 100 milliliters of milk or cream. I'm going to use heavy cream because milk would be a no-no. You might can use some almond milk if you want to lighten it up a little bit and take some calories out. In that goes, and we're going to add some gelatin to this later. So that's going to firm all of this up a lot. So again, she uses sweetener and vanilla. So I'm going to just kind of play it by ear here. I'm going to use another half teaspoon of vanilla. Where's that? Half teaspoon of vanilla in this. Should we use a whole teaspoon? I'll leave it at half. And if I think it needs more, I'll make note of it in the recipe. Might make this again afterwards just by myself and see perfect this. Also, we need the sweetener. Now this is where we probably need to add a little more than we did last time. So I'm going to put, let's start with a tablespoon Again, I'm using confectioner's swerve. You're going to use whatever you like. Allulose would be great here if it's powdered. I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of sweetener for this. I don't think that's going to be too much. That's a lot of cream cheese, and we haven't even gotten the gelatin and the water in there yet. So I'm going to quickly try to cream this together without slinging it across the kitchen. Y'all know this mixer. If you know me in this mixer, I'm going to have to go over here to the sofa and clean it off. So hold on, and we'll be right back. Okay, do I have any on me? No. Y'all got some on you? All right. Let's check this. I just want to test for sweetness. I don't think we're trying to whip this. She just showed it getting sort of creaming it, you know. I don't think we want it like a whipped cream texture, but that's nice and soft. Feels like almost like a frosting or an icing. I might put a little bit more sweetener in there. I'm going to put in a 1/3 tablespoon of sweetener. That's good. Okay, hold on, we got to get the gelatin out. All right, be right back. Okay, so our cream cheese mixture over here is waiting on the gelatin. And the gelatin, the best I can tell from the recipe in the video, she makes 10 grams of gelatin with 50 milliliters of water, and she divides that between this. She puts half of it in here and half of it in her berries. So I'm going to do the berries first so that I noticed in her video, the gelatin has completely gelled. But then when she goes to add it, it's liquid again. So I think the liquid needs to go in. We don't want it to gel sitting on the counter. So get your 2 ingredients ready to go before you start dissolving your gelatin. So we're going to get back to the gelatin, but first we need 100 grams of berries that have been pureed. She does it in a little, like with a hand stick mixer, but I'm going to do it with this. So we've got grams. I'm going to just tear it. So we need 100 grams of blueberries. I should wash these. Okay, so sift your berries, y'all. No, wash them. We need 100 grams of this. It's not much, but then she does add some around the, that's 100 right on. Look at that. I'm going to put the berries in the mixer. She doesn't say to do this, but something tells me. Let's add 1 teaspoon of sweetener, powdered sweetener to these berries, just to make sure that it's good and sweet, I reckon. So let's just give this a quick little buzz. This just sits over here and waits patiently for us. So I'm going to push this to the side because we got some more work to do. So the gelatin. It's 10 grams of gelatin. Now you can use, if you're fancy, you can use the grass-fed beef gelatin, or you can just do packages from the grocery store of regular unflavored gelatin. That's often what I do. Just be aware that regular grocery store gelatin generally is pork-based. So if you have an aversion to pork or for any reason, maybe go with the beef. So I need 10 grams, which wound up being, that's 3 teaspoons. All right, so 3 teaspoons, roughly 10 grams. Again, I don't think this is rocket science. We're not trying to send something to the moon here. To this, I need 50 milliliters of water. So I'm going to use this is where the Cove Pure comes in super handy. It's 212 degree hot water right out the tap. So I'm going to get 50 mils of water and I'll be right back. Okay, that is exactly 50 milliliters of water. Hot water, there's 212 degrees out of that. So I'm just going to put this in here and let this dissolve quickly, and then you'll see where we're going to go with this. We're going to use roughly half of it in each. All right, so let me get my hand mixer. We're going to put half of it in here and then half of it in the berries. I'm going to turn this on and I'm going to drizzle in about half of this, okay? You get this guy out of the fridge, and this is where I hope I don't have too much to fit into my springform. So, oh yeah, I think it's going to be tall, but it's going to hopefully be beautiful. Now, it's going to probably take it, I was thinking a couple of hours to set, or maybe 3 or 4. I may leave this overnight to set, because if it's this tall and this thick, it may take a while to get it set properly. So, also glad that I buttered the sides of that. So, Now, so now we just need to add the rest of the gelatin here to this guy, and then it goes right on top. So I'm going to pour this in. Let's give this a whir to get this mixed up. I will be the first to admit that this is not the prettiest looking mixture, and to be honest, hers wasn't either. Kind of looked not very vibrantly colored, but then this goes right on top, and then she smoothed it out. She does add some berries around the edge, which I may do as well. Get out of the way. Just make sure this gets pushed all the way to all of our edges. What she did, they're kind of wet. Put one in the middle, and then she went around the edges like this. So I'm gonna speed this up. Here is our little dessert situation. It needs to congeal. I'm gonna put it in the fridge overnight. I think so. So I'll meet you back here. We'll test this. I'll let you know if I've made any adjustments to the recipe. It'll be down below. So whatever we're gonna call this, let's talk about it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, guys, welcome back. It's the next morning. As you can tell by my swollen eyes and puffy face, it's rather early, but I wanted to show you this thing. Look at that. It's super cute. I mean, the color is not terribly, I mean, you know, it's not beautiful purple, but that's the natural color of the blueberries. So, and that's the way hers looked. So I'm going with that. She did sprinkle a few little almond slivers on here, but I don't have any. And I think it's going to be fine just the way it is now. I'm nervous about getting this out of here, to be very honest with you. So I'm going to run a knife around the edge and just say a little prayer with me. But I'm also going to take some pictures real quick before I bust this up in case it all goes south from here. So hang tight. Okay, so drum roll. I'm gonna leave it on this little napkin so I can pick it up. Remember, there's a bottom on it already. So I'm gonna release the, okay, yeah. It's doing a thing. That looks pretty okay. Come over here and loosen up over here. Oh. Okay, that looks cute. Hold on, let me wipe my hands. Okay. Right? That's pretty cute. Let me hide my big old face so you can see it. You know, it's not super clean, but I'm not dare take it off of the ring that's on the bottom. So here we're gonna just try to slice it, right? I put that berry in the middle, and that's gonna defeat my ability to come in here and make a nice clean slice. But I'm gonna make a couple of these. I'm thinking this is probably 8 servings based on the amount of cream cheese and other things and butter in here, just to make the macros tolerable. I'm gonna call it 8, so I'll leave it at that. Okay, so enough dancing around with photos. I think this little guy looks pretty darn cute. You're going to do a little better job than I did, hopefully, of assembling it. Although I'm not too mad about it, but a nice little tart pan would look cool. Don't put a berry in the middle. It gets in the way of cutting those slices, and the tiny little berry on the tip looks silly. But what are we going to call this? I mean, there's not a name, really. The channel is Home Cooking. German Confusion Cake? I don't know. You guys tell me, what should we name it down below? And to be fair to Home Cooking channel, wherever this came from, the confusion is mine, not yours. I'm not saying you were confusing. I was confused by the steps in the video. But you guys watch it. Tell me what you think. Since she didn't name it, or they didn't name it, what do you think we should name it? Let me know in the comments below. So the question is, what does this taste like? Before I do this, I just want to give a quick personal note and a quick thank you. As you saw probably at the beginning of this video, my father passed away about 2 weeks ago, And this is my first chance back in the kitchen since all of that has happened. He lived a wonderful life to 82 years old, and I was glad to be able to be there with him when he passed. Thank you so much to all of you. I posted a little bit about this on my other social media, as well as the community tab here on YouTube. Thank you so much to the thousands of you, and I do mean thousands of you, that reached out to offer your condolences. It truly means a lot. Those of you that have lost a parent, particularly your last parent, you know how difficult that can be. But I thank him for everything he taught me, and everything that's good about me, I do believe, came from him and my mother. I would just wish that we all of us could have a long and wonderful and prosperous life like he did. So thank you, Dad. This one's to you. But not to be maudlin, what does this taste like? Because he'd definitely want to taste this. All right, so did we get the sugar and the sweeteners, not the sugar, but the sweeteners correct? Did I totally screw this up? Did we fix it? Did we break it? Or are we still just confused? Holds together well, holds together really well. I'm hoping it's not too gelatinous. Let's see. That's good. I would bump up the sweetness a little bit more. We used, I think, 3 tablespoons in the filling. I'm going to change that to 4 in the final written recipe. Here's something else I'm going to say. I think that was too much gelatin. The top feels very jello. I mean, you see there's no, I mean, it is really springy and is not even leaving a dent. I think we could get by, let me test it again. I think we could get by with maybe 2/3 of that amount of gelatin. That's good. Needs a little more sweetener all around, to me personally. But it's pretty good. A little jello-y. The crust is great. I do think you could get by. Okay, I'm going to make these final adjustments in the recipe that I feel like this would work, and I'll make another one and see that it comes out. I'm going to take the butter down a little bit in the crust. I'm going to add some more sweetener to the crust. I'm going to add a little more sweetener to the cheesecake filling. That's what I'm going to call in the middle. I'm going to add a little more sweetener to the blueberry filling too. And I'm going to bump the gelatin amount down just a little bit. I think there's just a little too much gelatin. Hopefully it will all hold together. But this is an interesting dessert that I'm totally on board with. I think this will work great with strawberries, with blackberries, with raspberries. Ready to try this with a number of things. It was super fast. So yeah, what did she say? No eggs, yeah. No baking, yeah. No sugar, low carb. I don't know where she got no dairy and butter, because it definitely is. But I'm going to call it German confusion cake, highfalutin confusion cake. I mean, it's not my recipe, but I think we tried to fix it and did a pretty good job. So, all right, guys, thank you for joining me. I say this every time. These videos are a way for me to maintain my low-carb way of eating, and looking at the end of that camera as often as I can helps keep me honest. So I appreciate that you guys have come along for the journey. I'm going to ask you to please hit the like button down below and the bell button. Just make sure you hit subscribe and the bell button. That'll let you be notified just as soon as I release a new video. That's free to do. Tells the algorithm here at YouTube, this is a video other people may want to watch too, that will have similar interest to you. So it's free, and it's very important that you do that if you want to help me out. Also follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I talk a little more frequently and freely over there. Posted some nice statements about my father. That's where a lot of you commented regarding him and my loss over the last couple of weeks. So if you don't follow me there, be sure to do so. I'm a little more personal over there, talk a little more frequently and a little more freely. And I want to thank again the sponsor of this video, Cove Pure. Be sure to use the link in the video description below or here on the screen, the QR code, to take advantage of their special offer for you guys, my viewers. And lastly, I need to thank my rock stars. Yep, you guessed it. You'll see their names already scrolling over here, these are my Patreon members and these are my YouTube channel members. I've started adding them here as well. Without them, none of this would be possible. If you want to talk about the YouTube channel memberships, it's just right below this video. Just check out the channel memberships below. And Patreon, I think of it as the tip jar for the internet. It lets people like you who enjoy what people like me do here on YouTube. You can give $1 or $2 a month just to keep the train on the tracks, and find some other information over there as well that's available exclusively to Patreon members. So just go to patreon.com/highfalutin-low-carb to learn more about that. All right, guys, I love you. And remember, today is a great day to have a great day. Bye-bye.